Storytell Original presents The One-Eyed King by Jakub, ćwiek. Narrated by me, Onwukwe. Chapter 1. This is why. At least a day had passed, possibly even two, before anyone realized there was a dead body floating in the fountain in Wrocław's main square. The crime scene investigators, working with new, hastily introduced and thus far from perfect test methods, were unable to provide further details. More precise information would only be forthcoming once the body was in the lab, and it could not yet be moved due to the technical difficulties and prolonged procedures entailed by what was still provisionally known as the visual inspection. According to the documents found on the body, the man's name was Jan Winicki. He was 26 years old. His body had been arranged so that it was reclining in one corner of the fountain, looking towards Solny Plaza, as if he were relaxing in a jacuzzi. His left arm was bent at the elbow, the right one straight. The deceased's head hung low over his chest. His long, thick beard covered the slash wound in his throat. Most of the front of his smart shirt was soaked in clotted blood. His sleeves were rolled up, and there was no sign of any coat or jacket. Given the temperatures over the last few days, the immediate assumption was that it had been taken by the perpetrator. All around the body, in the basin of the fountain, and on the decorative glass panels that made up the main sculptural feature, someone had placed dozens of portable atomizers. Each one released a spritz of fragrance at various intervals, once a minute, once every 15 minutes, even once an hour. They all contained the same scent, the strong, sweet aroma of lily of the valley. Winicki had been discovered by a 60-year-old widow, Małgorzata Krach, one of the few people who still sat with any regularity in the normally deserted main square of the city. According to the statement she'd given the police, she'd spent the 2 days during which the body had most likely been left at the scene at home with a cold. She'd gone over it using home remedies. That particular morning, she'd shown up at her usual spot, a chair outside the Blue Sun Arcade Cafe. She had been in the habit of going there with her late husband, who had died in 2016 and thus, thankfully, had not had to experience the pandemic. As she stated, she had been pleasantly surprised by the fragrance in the air, which had pleasant associations for her. Soon, however, she had detected an unpleasant bass note of something rotten. She had also been surprised by the number of cats in the area that day. They were meowing everywhere. Some of the animals had rubbed against her legs, and one had even scratched her. Krach had then approached the fountain she knew so well, following the strong scent, driven by what, in her own words, she could only describe as heightened curiosity and a sudden burning necessity. She moved cautiously, as the slick, cobbled surface of the square had been the primary cause of her visits to A&E over the past 2 years. When she reached the fountain, she was sure it was the source of the flowery scent. The sound of the hissing atomizers confirmed her conclusion. But there was also the stronger sweet rotten stench of rancid meat, she said, and the harsh, sour smell of cat piss. Very intense. You could tell the animals had been hanging around there for some time. Just as before, necessity and burning curiosity made her grope blindly around the wall of the fountain. When she finally encountered the hairy head, she thought at first it was one of the cats. She realized that was impossible soon enough, as unlike any cats she had ever known,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?